We are going to flip over to Washington, D.C. Rachel Druckenmiller, you are up.
Hey there.
Hey, Rachel.
Laura, it's wonderful to meet you. I messaged you to say that I've gotten the phrase of being a soothing gut punch. I messaged you on LinkedIn about that when I saw your hug. So
Yes.
felt really connected about that. Comment and a question. One comment just regarding what you were sharing with Mayan that may be helpful for others too, is just a question of in terms of a frame of how to ask to get that purpose question. Sometimes people can't identify exactly what their calling is. And so if I ask them to share a story, tell me a story about a time where you felt a deep sense of meaning or purpose at work. Sometimes the story can have a theme in it that you might not have gotten if you just asked the direct question, if somebody's not clear. So I wanted to, if that's, and Laura, welcome your thoughts on that, but that sometimes just asking a question to have them share a story can give you more insight.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think that your role as a leader is to actually listen more than you talk. And that's really hard because as you become a leader, people expect you to have the answers. They expect you to talk. You go into a meeting and people look at you and they wait for you to talk. And I learn way more when I'm listening than when I'm talking, right? I mean, who learns when they're talking? Unless you're making it up as you go along, which, a lot of us do as entrepreneurs. But just listening to people, listening to what lights them up, listening to watching how their body language changes as they tell you a story, listening to their energy change as they talk to you about something, asking them questions. The great benefit of spending 20 years as a recruiter is that I got to interview people for 20 years. And I remembered I maybe been on the job for a month, and one of the vice presidents walked into the office and she looked like somebody just ran over her puppy on the street. I mean, she just looked like gray. And I was like, oh my God, Lisa, are you okay? Is everything all right? She said, I've just been listening all day. I'm just tired. And I remember thinking listening, how hard is that? And then I learned how to listen. And you not just listen to wait for the other person to stop talking so that you can ask the next question, but listening to hear what they're saying and what they're not saying so that you can probe deeper into what they just spoke about. And the kinds of conversations, I just did an interview this morning and a friend of mine texted me in the middle of it. And he's like, I'm waiting for you to make them cry. Because I make a lot of people cry when I interview them about stuff, because not cry in sadness, but they get emotional because you really tap into what they care about. And if you're a manager and you've been able to learn what your employees care about and you don't do something about it, and shame on you, right? Your employees will tell you everything that they need if you just are willing to listen.
Yeah. Phenomenal advice. We are going to go to New York.
I think Rachel had a comment, and then I think
sorry,
she had a question.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Super quick question that hopefully will be relevant to somebody else. I didn't want to listen to respond, but I know the time is limited. But one of my wonder halls. So I'm a speaker and a singer, and I've just incorporated singing into my work in the past year. And one of my wonder halls is doing a TEDx, and I've had that on my list for 5 years. I worked with Michael and Amy Port at Heroic Public Speaking, and I know they do the Cambridge event. And so anyway, I just thought, and this may be relevant to others too, I'm seeing some head nods about just any insights behind the scenes secrets about maybe the best ways to potentially pitch and get a TEDx opportunity.
So I actually wrote a blog post a while ago, the scariest thing I ever did, which is lessons from my TEDx. So if you want to read that, it'll talk a little bit about the whole process. But there are two people who are who work as TEDx coaches, Tamsin Webster and Marie Incontrera. And I think Tamsin is a little more academic. She was the executive producer of TEDx Cambridge, then the one who asked me to give the speech. This is before the Ports were doing it, although I've done speaker training with the Ports as well. And Marie Incontrera, 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 is somebody who she's gotten 50 out of 50 talks on TEDx stages. She's just somebody who works with people and helps them pitch. And so she's excellent as well.
Thank you very much.
Phenomenal.